Oh, okay, that sharpened it up. Okay, so what we learned last night, and I'm pointing to the screen as if you can see it. Sorry. Sometimes I'm just a big dumb animal. Hey Danielle, get your husband on here. I want him to see that he shamed me into my webcam, never focusing properly. So I went out and I spent $100 on a brand new one, and here it is. It's working. Okay, so anyway, what we were discussing last night, and if any of you guys are building your FT-6, I know, for example, that Keith just received his yesterday and he started putting it together. And I should probably lower the bed a little bit. But anyway, this, we got a little ruler right here, and we can see that basically, and there's a mark right there, the edge of the steel is not where the ruler, see where the end is right there? So we slide that over, and we look at the middle of basically where the middle of the probe is. It's about 36. I believe that's what Keith and I agreed to last night, this afternoon when we were talking about it. So we know that, and that's the y-axis, okay? This going from here to here, okay? I'll never be a hand model, so I'm sorry. Should be 36. So there we go. So that would be our y offset for the extruder. Dun -dun. And this is a little bit of a review for anyone that didn't see this last night. Okay, now the x, okay? And let me move the camera for another angle. Oh, hello. I heard a pop up. Let's check it out. Kenneth Compton just subscribed. Look at that. I have a swimming pool. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome aboard. Okay, so holy crap, that's kind of close. Let's move over. So you can see that let me give you a better angle here. It's pretty much, there's not really much offset that you can see on this guy, and boy, that focus really wants to work nice tonight. Maybe that's a good omen for tonight. So we agreed that that was 2. And I know you guys are going to mention this to me. You're going to say, hey, where's the silicone sock for that print head? I don't have one. I know this is going to surprise you, but it did not come in the kit. So just one more thing that it was missing. I thought I had another one, and I think it came with the i3 Mega that I bought. But it turns out it had filament goop inside of it, so I figured that would be a bad way to start out this printer. So anyway, so we've agreed that our offsets, okay, for the probe is 2 millimeters. All I see is a cup. Is the cup in the way again? No, it's not. Oh, there it is. I forgot that it fades in and out. Dun, dun, dun. Well, if I swing the picture back a little bit, there you go. Now the nozzle is, there we go. Trying to be responsive to my audience. So that part we agree on, okay? So we've got the offset figured out, okay? Now the next part of this, and let me go to the top view to give you an example. Okay, so we know that we can't print on this entire bed because of just the mechanical restrictions of where we're going, okay? We know that I can move the nozzle all the way over here, okay? But, and again, this might be a good job for the other camera to demonstrate, okay? So all the way over, okay, we're about 10 millimeters away. Actually, I think that's what Keith mentioned this afternoon. We're about 10 millimeters away from the top of the bed, okay? And we know that on the opposite side, I can get the nozzle all the way over and then too far, actually. So, and again, and here's what we're watching out for, if you're wondering, okay? This is, we don't want that guy to go falling off the edge of that rail, okay? If we do, it starts raining ball bearings and, you know, not a good thing. So last night when we were measuring travel, we figured out that, and again, I'll go to the top camera. Actually, this is a good angle right here. So going from here to here, okay, while the printer is advertised as 350, millimeters, 350 millimeters for volume on the, let me think out loud here, the y-axis, we know that if I go to 350, my carriage is going to fall off that rail. So basically, going through the steps, when we had everything zeroed and moved it across, we saw that 344 was the magic number. Okay? Everyone follow? There'll be a quiz later. We also did the same thing going across the huge x-axis. And which reminds me, I gotta move a few of these clips out of the way so that they don't get stomped over here by the probe and stuff. But that is tough to move. It's easy to bind this thing up when you're just pushing it manually here. There. And I think it's like, yeah, my Ethernet cord is getting snared up too. So again, we're noticing how far from the edge of the bed we are, okay? Now, you might be thinking, well, it can probably go over another inch, right? We're going back and forth from metric to imperial here. But the catch is that, see that linear rail, okay, that's as far as we can, we can't roll off the edge of this. We can try, but I think this is as good as it's gonna get. And I don't think, well, you know what, look at that. It's almost at the very end. But I also know that this bed has a little bit of a warp to it. So the gist of what I'm showing you is that what the printer says it is versus what our actual print volume is going to vary a little bit, okay? Now, here's what I have set so far. And let me get back to the computer screen. That's the back of my head. What a handsome head. Okay, let's go here. Now, this is the part where I got a little confused. And I'm still not 100% clear on this. So, Keith, be prepared to jump into motion here. The belt doesn't line up. Oh, okay, yeah, there is a little slack there in there now. So there we go. So if I pull that, then that's why I hate these kind of belts. Okay, that guy is centered up. Okay. What Keith is talking about over here, just so you're aware, initially this belt over here, let's see if I can get the angle right here. There it is. Okay, that was hanging down a little bit lower. It had been drooping. You know, old age, we all droop a little. This guy's centered up, so now it can move all the way over here. All right. So, maybe the top view will be better over here. So it looks like we have pretty good movement all through, and again, you have to remember, going this way is X, okay? And we're homing in this corner. That's what throws people off. Our work. Actually, the printer is rotated around, okay? You'd be expecting to home in the front left center. We're doing it in the back right corner. FT-5 does the exact same thing, and it's messed me up for years. So, what we could probably do again is let's go look at the firmware. All right, so we're defining the X minimal position, the Y minimal position, and then we're defining the Z max position, okay? And what I have set on the firmware that is in the printer, let me compare. Dun, dun, dun. What line number is that? It's 886, I think? Yes, 886. Oh, the Ultimaker's doing a good job. That's a stinky PLA. Okay, line 886. This is a touch screen, so I can just fling it down here. So what I currently have set, oh, that's interesting. Oh, maybe I didn't save it. Maybe I uploaded it and I didn't save it. That could be it. So I have the exact same settings in the production software, in the production laptop, as what you're seeing here on the your screen here. So what we can do, let's power the beast up. Let's get cameras out of the way, because once we start pushing buttons, things are going to start flying around. All right, let me make sure that camera is up and out of the way. Yep, it's... Hello, Dave. Now, let's see what happens. I don't have it connected to the printer, to the computer right now. I am just going to tell it to prepare and auto home. Looks like the this is doing a good job keeping things out of the way. Good. That's going where it should go. Now let's see what the bed does. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, it did what it's supposed to do. All right, cool. Things have gone according to plan. It's been great talking. I am going to keep this streak of everything working properly and sign off for good night. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye. No. Okay. Why would I want to push my good luck after this, right? Okay. So, and let's look at the top view here. So what I can do now, it's probably easier to do it with the computer plugged in. All right, let me move my refreshment out of the way. Okay, and there's that high-pitched squeal again. All right. I hope you guys are enjoying my agony. Okay, so right now I am just plugging that in. I am going to shut off Simplify 3D. Actually, you know what? I think did I have better luck with Pronterface or Simplify 3D? I don't think it'll matter. Let's get S3D back on the screen. And we'll use that for the machine settings. Alright, let's get this dragged over here. Okay, that was I'm curious how these are going to work. These are the pieces that are going to attach to the top of the somewhat crooked ACM spool holders. But let's go to Tools. Let's go to Machine Control Panel. Okay, and it's already, looks like it's already connected. Let's do a M503 and see what it's up to. Okay, it does remember my Z offset of -2.96. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see my screen. Ha 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 ha. Noob. No, I'm not going to get bungees. Did you see the piece I attached? Let me show you again. See these guys right here? Okay, these are 3D printed. And that was 3D printed, and it's just acting as a means of holding the Ethernet cable. And this one we wire wrap. This is holding the other Ethernet cable and the heater wires. So, I mean, yeah, I suppose I could do bungee, but for right now, that seems to be working okay. I'm not crazy about 45 feet of Bowden tube, but it is what it is. Okay, so the printer is at 0, 0, 0. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this camera over and Keith, I'm going to have questions for you here. Okay, so let me back this off because it looks like that is 0, 0, 0. And let me aim my camera up a little bit here. I want to keep my, let me turn that up just a little bit more. I want to make sure the focus is working so I can continue to gloat and mock my friend. With that light illuminated, though, it's going to focus on that. Ain't that something? So look at the side there. So it looks like, and I got to check the limit switch. Am I touching the limit switch? I am not touching the limit switch. So, Keith, should I, let me look at my other screen in case he's typing to me. All right, so it looks to me like I can go over a little bit further. And I think that would be my G92 command. And I'm going to see if Keith responds. Yeah, because right now we are at 0, 0, 0. Because my thinking is that if I try moving that, let's see, let's make sure I'm doing my, that would be my Y, and that would be negative. Yeah, I can't go any further. Coffeeology, that's a great name. Okay, so Keith, G92, okay? In this picture right here, okay, this is 0, okay, on the y-axis. And obviously I have some more space on the left from this view. So if I made G92Y0, would that allow me to jog that over a little bit more? Or, let me think out loud here. And guys, if you think you know, chime in, because this is how we all learn together. I know I can do an M211 S0, which will disable the soft end stops. And that would allow me to G92Y20. Oh, so I could, do you think that's 20? Do you think that's 20? Let's get the ruler out. Let's get the ruler out. Let me take a look. How far to the edge do I think I am? Well, I'll be damned. Keith might be right. Okay, so what we're gonna do. Okay, gotcha. I think you get. I think your. I don't want to say guess. But your assertion may be right. So let's see, communication. Okay, so we're gonna tell right where we are. G92 is now Y20. There we go, verbose. Okay. Good. Okay. All right, so to explain to you what we just did, okay, so what we did is we told the printer that where you are located on the y-axis is no longer 0. You are now 20. And you can see up here, okay, on the position readout, we have changed that to 20. Okay? And now what we're going to do, just like what he said, is we're going to jog it over there. And we're going to see, let's see, I need to go negative. So here we go. And I'm going to move that out of the way a little bit here. Maybe the focus will play nice too. Let's get you to the edge. Well, the binder clip is in focus. Awesome sauce. Okay, so we want to go negative numbers. So come on. Now, do we have to... I'm trying to jog it, and it's not letting me. Do I have to do a soft end stop change? because I can go positive, but it's not letting me go past. Oh, here we go. Now it's really weird. Okay, so when I tried it the first time, it wouldn't budge, but when I went the opposite direction and came back, it did. So, okay, see right now it's stopped letting me. It let me go to 16. Yeah, I don't know what's up. So if I let me show you here. So what I'm doing, so if I move it back to 13 and 14, 15, okay? And let me, it says it's doing it, but it's not. And I know my end stop is not engaged. So why won't it move? Because I'm trying to jog towards 0 and it is telling me what to do with myself. Okay, I can get that far, but yeah, it lets me do about 2 positions and then it stops. All right, time for the sweatshirt to come off. Nope, it's not hitting the end stop, so that's why I'm wondering if an M211 would be appropriate to disable the soft end stop on M211 S0, because we are physically not touching anything. Now, yeah, let's try it. Okay, good. Let's see what happens. So what we're doing is we're going to tell the system to turn off its end stops. Okay, that in theory, now that it's been accepted, should allow us to continue to move it. And let's go back to the view so you can see too. Yep, there we go. And how far do they? I can't see. Well, duh, I got a camera aimed right at it. Sorry. Let's get your camera closer and see how close they are. And we're getting. And Caleb, if you mention the focus, I just swear to God, I'll boot you. Okay, so that is pretty much the. How far am I engaging my end stop yet? How close is that? Wow, I've got like 1 millimeter before I engage the end stop. Okay, let's take a look if the end stop is engaged. Yep. I have something to say now. Okay. Now we can do, let's see, let me get back to my comm screen here. And I'll check with Keith and see it's a G92 timer. Yep, okay. Keith, we think alike. How scary is that? Okay, so now we're going to tell the system this is now a Y0. Okay. Do I have to do an M211 S1 to re-engage the soft end stops? Or no, I should probably leave well enough alone. So now what I can do to test this is move this guy out, and then let's move you way back here. An M500 wouldn't hurt. And probably an M501 to follow up, right? Okay, that's been stored. Should we be doing the 501 as well to make sure we're using that setting? Now, why the hell did that just move? Huh. It just moved off the end stop all by itself. I'm telling you, this place is haunted. Okay. I wonder why it moved by itself back over there to its previous position. Hey, it wouldn't be a fun streaming video if stuff didn't move on its own. Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, because we did the M211 S0. So how do I correct the soft end stop? It's possessed. All right, let's. Okay, so it's at 120. What happens when I home it? Where will it go? Okay. Okay. Okay, so cool. So now we have that working. Okay? So let me bring your attention back to the fact in the up hand corner here. I can't talk tonight. Oh, I'm sorry. I should probably post a link to the printer if you're wondering what in the devil we're working on tonight. We're working on the last parts of the configuration. And let me provide you with that link right now. And dun, dun, dun. And let me post that in the chat buffer in the other monitor. This is the beast. And my printer is making noises again. Okay, so right now we are at 0, 0, 0. You can see that in the top right. And my printer is making whistling sounds. Wow, it reminds me of my Keurig. Well, yeah, the print volume is impressive. So what we're going to do now is we are going to jog this guy over and let's see. I got a lot of pop-ups on the computer. Sorry about that. So let's move you over 100. Okay. Let's move you over another 100. Now 3. Okay, here's where it gets a little squirrely. So the specs on the printer are 350, and we can double check that by looking at the firmware that's included. He is saying that the Y bedside is 350. So what we're going to do is we are going to see how far to 350 we can get before this thing gets way too close to the end rail. And let me give you a shot of that. Wow, that literally is a shot of the end rail. Let me tip you up a little bit here. There we go. I will never. Here we go. So this is our bearing right here in red. Oh, look, the focus works. Look at that, Caleb. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how close we can get to this. Hopefully we'll get to 350. If you start hearing what it sounds like chiclets falling, Paul's having a bad night. So 10, 20, 30, 40. Uh-oh. Let's go by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jeez. Okay, so so 345 is about as far as I can get that before I am dangerously coming off the rail. So let me go back to over here. Let's go to our firmware. And what does the print say? The printer says 345. So let's change bed size to 345. Oh, really? Yeah. You know what? I understand what you're saying, but you know what? If it's gonna cost me ball bearings on the floor, I'm fine losing 5mm. Why would they make the rail that short? Well, technically, to be honest with you, and Keith, maybe you have an answer to this. You could probably, if I really, really, really wanted to get the last, I could probably unbolt this and slide this over 5 because the gantry sticks out from the bearing to hit that switch. It just would require me to remove every freaking one of these and slide it over 5mm. And frankly, I'm cool losing 5mm. So. Yeah, I'm sure the cats would. Okay, so looking at the firmware, so I have adjusted, let's see. Let me adjust in my my real one here. Oh, you know what? I do have it in here. So 345. Okay, so we're good there. Well, it's because of the microphone. I apologize. It's I'm using the boom mic so that when I turn my head away, and yeah, I'm trying to make sure I swing the microphone back and forth. One of the next purchases I'd like to make, I would like to buy those remote headsets or Cavalier mics that would work with the computer. Don't have those right now, so another future upgrade. So maybe when I get some more Patreon supporters. Or, again, in the description of the video, or there's also the $sign in the chat right here. If you want to throw a couple bucks through the super chat, feel free. As you've seen, anything I get goes towards making the videos better. Hire a guy in pink shorts. So, okay. So now, Keith, is there anything I need to change here as far? I don't think I have to touch any of these X-min positions because we have altered where 0 is by manually jogging it over there, right? No, this is not my job. No. No. My job is certainly not YouTube. That'd be funny. I know a lot of guys that do it that way, but no. This is just a fun hobby for me. As I like to tell people, I am insignificantly, marginally famous with my small YouTube channel, and I'm fairly certain that your kid has more subscribers on their Minecraft videos than I do. And that's cool. I'm okay. I don't work. Yeah, I'm a state employee, so technically I don't work, right? Now, I work at a university. I oversee the online learning system and the video streaming systems over there. Before that, I used to run around a hospital medical center, repairing printers and you name it, and seeing things I wish I could unsee in a hospital environment. So, yeah, let's just say labor and delivery was never a fun floor for me. Okay, so let's get back on course. Did Keith answer me? Cameras are good to spend money on, Mike. Yes. Okay. You're a state employee too? Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? So Y min looks okay. X is what we got to check out. So what we can do, let me, again, move the awesome camera out of the way. So let's get ready to, let's do something real quick here. So let's, I'm pretty sure I've already got this squared away in Marlin. I think I put the bed size at 720. Yeah. Let's go back to Simplify 3D, and let's home Y. L&D wasn't fun for me either. Yes, I suppose it's different for the ladies, isn't it? Yeah, I think the girls have it too easy. They should just jog home. Just kidding. Okay, so everything is homed. Now, I don't think I'm looking at the switches here. I don't think. Right. A lot of people would agree with that. Okay, in the corner here, I don't know if you can see, but that switch right here is just about a millimeter or two off from touching. So I'm wondering if I can jog that guy. I mean, do I really want to gain? I'd probably won't gain much of any. I might, you know, it's not worth gaining 1 millimeter. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be worth it. So, because I was thinking my thought was, and if you're wondering what we're looking at this right here. This limit switch is just starting to touch the ACM. So, I mean, I could go 1 more millimeter, but I'm not going to do it. Oh, you want to see the Y limit switch from the top of the carriage? Yes. Yeah, we talked about this today. All right, let me change view so I don't make you too nauseous here. Moving the camera around. Okay, let's see if I can give you a good. I'm gonna have to do this by hand, so hang on. Let me swap cameras here. Dun dun dun. Okay, and the Y limit switch is trying to get a good angle on this without getting anyone motion sick. And try not to block the light. Let me see if I can get out of the light here for a little bit. Caroling and stay away from the light. So you can see it's maybe this is the best angle I can give you here. So it's just starting to touch, and again, it's not that far away. I'm moving the camera around again here, so you can kind of get the gist. Oh, did I give you X and not Y? Sorry. I should be sipping my soda. This is the What's interesting is that when I've homed it, it's back in the old position. It has managed to move itself again. So let me to home a Y again. Okay, it's there at the moment. Now, how long will it stay there before it mysteriously moves back out? It does hit it in the middle. Yes, it does. All right. Probably should have done it earlier on. Good evening. We are setting up the FolgerTech FT-6. We are working on fine-tuning the firmware. So if you're just tuning in and wondering what the hell have I walked into, that's where you're looking at. So the channel's Where Nerdy is Cool. My name is Paul. So a kind of a brief hello. Let's say hello. I want to say we've been doing this just over an hour, so you haven't missed any first prints. We managed to achieve the auto bed leveling to work, and now we're just fine-tuning the firmware so that we're getting as much of the full print volume as we can. So, so there, hello. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to get this other camera up and out of the way, and I want to verify that we are getting yes, I agree. Yep, that's the way you want to have that hit. So let's go to the top view, and what I want to do now is I am going to move across the x-axis. Oh, it just popped out. Did you see that? Did you see that? See? See, when I watch what happens. See, it pulled back out. See? Okay? But for some reason, did I run out of nerdy shit? This is just my gym shirt. You don't like? I mean, all right, so I don't understand why that is at 0 and then all of a sudden it moves by itself. Maybe that will change upon restart. I don't know. So I have the Y bed size set to 345. And the furnace is kicking on, so you'll hear that in a second. Okay, so let's go across the x-axis. $100, $200. Let's go to the top view. That might be a little bit better for what you guys are looking at here. How close to those bed clips are we? I think we're gonna be okay. All right, where am I at now? I'm at 300. Now let's go to 400. $500. Do I sound like Count Dracula? 500. Oops, what did I hit? I hit 10. Okay, that's 550. That gets us to 650. Let's get the other camera here so you can witness how close we're kind of getting. And I'm hearing that high-pitched sound again. Fun, fun. All right, so there is the edge of the printer. We're currently at 650. Let's see how close. Let's go by tens. and 700. And it looks like we have a little bit more room. Okay, I think the FolgerTech site says 720. Let's see if we can get that. Let's go to 710. Oh, that's gonna be close. Let's go by ones now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 716. Looks like. Boy, I'm right at the feathered edge here. I am at 717. Tell you what, let's go one more. Okay, we'll call that set. Let's call it good at 718. And I'll. Oh, it focused for a second. That's interesting. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the back to the firmware, and we'll call that 718. Okay, how does that sound, Keith? So I think our X, Y, and Z zeros are good. Let me get the camera out of the way. So I should be able to do a G28, right? And everybody should come home, right? So 718 by 345. Yeah, let me go to my other. Okay, those prints are going well. Let's see. There it is. Okay. So I'm not going to cry about being off on 5 millimeters and 2 millimeters at the very edge. Given how I know that this bed platform has a little bit of a warp to it. So let me check the other screen here. Okay, here we go. All right. Everybody got really, really quiet. So I was about ready to hit save and upload, but I wanted to verify with everybody before I did that. And there we go. Okay. Okay, I think I got all the changes in here that I needed to do. I just replicated them. Yeah, is there anything here in the firmware that we want to check on that? I'm gonna actually, let me go to my other computer here and hit file and save here before anything happens here. File, save. Okay. So I'm just curious if there's anything else in the Marlin that we want to look at, change or alter before we compile and upload. I know you had a couple good ideas about a couple of things, but I think now that we've got all these offsets happy, I should be able to do a, where's my, here you are. So I should be able to, actually, let me disconnect. We'll get out of Simplify 3D. Let's go to the cameras. And let's hit pair and auto home. Okay, bed, be good to me. Okay, I'm still not convinced that bed was 100% level. I mean, I can see a noticeable dip in the middle, so, Oh, did you want to, yeah, that's a good, yeah, I could put that in there. But I mean, I can just do that with a, the hell is the word? I can just do that by hand with an M851. I think that's the right one. Yeah, M851Z negative 2.79 or whatever I came up with. 2.96. So right now, it's sitting at It's interesting, when it homes, I would expect the nozzle to be touching the bed. But right now, it's keeping it, let's see, it's showing at 2.96, which is the Z offset. So maybe it's supposed to do that? I don't know. So there we go. The next thing I wanted to check out, let's see if I can, let me drag the window here. Someone had a simplified 3D profile for the FT-6. I don't know how good it is. I don't know if it sucks, but come on. Okay, so that's interesting. I hear a high-pitched squealing coming from whatever's over there, the RJ45 block or whatever. And then when the squealing stops, the y-axis punches out those 10 millimeters. So I'm wondering if those two are related. I just happened to hear that high-pitched squeal and then heard it move over. So I don't know what's up with that. I'm greatly interested. All right, let's go to the file section of the group, and okay, there's my let's see, I don't know if anyone's used the FT-6 dual extruder profile that they have listed on the Facebook page, but worst case I can look at it. Okay, and let's get out of that because that takes up a lot of resources. Stepper idle timeout. That's interesting. Okay. Yes, Danielle. Molly is sitting right behind me. She is just, yeah. She's just out of camera view every time. She keeps on walking by my legs here, and yeah. The minute I sit down, she wants to be in my lap. Now let me go to Simplify 3D. Let me put the camera over there. Okay, so this is printing, so I can remove this stuff, and let's do import. And that's the i3 Mega. We want the FT-6. Okay, well what's interesting is that bed should look a lot different if it's the FT-6, but maybe it doesn't get selected by default. So that's fine. Let's edit process settings. And let's drag you over here, okay? And let's, as you can see, I got a ton of profiles here. Yes. And let's hit OK and see what this looks like now. Boing. Yep. And let's see, I'm going to flip you around because 0, 0, 0 is over there. Oops, I thought I had you flip around. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things that we have to adjust because we made changes on the actual bed size. Maybe under other or advanced. Yeah, let's go one by one. Ah, 1 millimeter extraction. Okay, sure. Let's see, infill. Okay, the bed looks fine. What temperature is he doing? 210's okay. Here we go. Cartesian. Okay, he has it at 700. We had it at 718, right? Yep. Okay, and we didn't make it to 350, we made it to 345. Okay, that's all correct over there. Alright, so our bed got a little bit smaller. So there is that part. Okay, so the stepper timeout, okay, I feel better about that. The next thing we gotta do is we have to upload the new version of the firmware. Let me unplug this from one computer and put it in the other one. There we go. My other computer is an Acer. And for some reason, Acer decided that putting a USB port next to the power button was a really great idea. Can't tell you how many times I've dumped everything off my computer because of that. It happens. Okay, so let's go back to here. Okay, I can't think of anything else we wanted to adjust on this. Let me make sure that COM4 is present. Yeah. All right, let's. That is now compiling, and we'll upload. Woot! All right. I wonder if I have a spare silicone saw for this thing. upload is proceeding. Maybe. I gotta tell you, I literally counted 9 E3D hot end socks, but none for the Mark 9. What have I got here? That's a whole bunch of stepper drivers for the 8279. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2208s, which someday we'll use. I got limit switches and JST cable galore, but no, not what I'm looking for. That's how it goes when you have all these printers. You have all kinds of extra parts, except the one you need. Okay, looks like the upload is still going on. I still got blue blinky lights over here. Okay. Marlin has a rebooted. Caleb, we're back. Okay, cool. All right, so Keith, the printer has restarted. It has the new firmware on board. Is there anything I need to run? Well, hey, remember, we're still close to the mark. And there are 2 cats sitting here facing me going, that would be an awesome cat bed, Dad. So, like I said, some days are better than others. I mean, I still have a Titan Arrow that blew up on me over there in the back corner I got to work on. I was so excited at how that went. I bought all the parts I needed to upgrade the TiVo Tornado. And just when I was ready to dig the TiVo Tornado out, that one blew up. So, that's how it goes sometimes. And I'm realizing, as a side note, my G-Tech A10, which I removed the springs and I put solid spacers, thinking that maybe I had some issues there. My bed is higher in the middle, okay, than it is on the outside edges. And all I can think of is maybe there's some accumulation of PLA from some layers being too low. So I think what I need to do is take that outside, put the acetone on there, clean that bed thoroughly. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I've got a BL Touch on there, and it accommodates most of the bed, but that center is just too high. Oh, they know. I have caught them on the security cameras on top of the CR10 enclosure, so they know. Okay. Did I miss anything from Keith? Because I know we've been going back and forth on here to make sure we do it all right. Keith is working on his printer too, so let's see, I don't know if I missed anything or not over here. There we go. If there's anything, I know if I do a I'm fuzzy on this one. So the firmware has been uploaded. Do I need to hit initialize EEPROM? And if so, what does that do? I don't recall. Again, I don't know everything. I'm just learning just like you guys. I think with the new firmware on there, I'm set to go, but I like to ask and make sure. Yes, and so, but when I do that, I'm going to lose my Z offset again, which I can enter in. Okay. And the Z offset is gone, so I will enter that in again real quick. And I said negative 2.96. I had it written down over here just to be sure. 2.97. We'll call it 96. Alright, let's go back one menu. Save settings. It clears random crap for me from. Okay, very cool. There's another setting in firmware that I'm curious about. Maybe a graphic will help you guys. Here we go. Okay, so, well, son of a gun, I did it. Okay, so right now it's at the home menu, and this LCD is terrible quality. Because if you're up here and trying to see what it's doing, obviously you can't read it, okay? It's not a very high quality LCD. I thought about putting it up at higher level, but frankly, I could just put a tablet up here and get into my auto print. The question I had is that when you go through these menus, okay, say you want to move an axis or whatever, and you just kind of sit there for a few seconds. I want to say there's a timeout between when maybe it's 1 minute, maybe it's 30 seconds. I found a few settings, so maybe, okay, it's going back. I did find the right setting. Never mind. It seemed like previously it was stuck on menus. All right. I hate to say this, but I think we're just about ready to attempt to print on this thing. Or rather, I'm sorry, let's not get too excited. The next step would be to see using the Simplify 3D profile in the E step, because the settings on this have been wrong so far. But I'm curious if we tell this thing to extrude 100 millimeters of filament, if it really does that. So I'm curious if the E steps are any good on this. I also only put in one spring on the extruders. I know Matt Phillips had mentioned he had to put the second one back in there because it wasn't grabbing well enough. So what do you guys think? Go for the glory? So what I can do is I'll move the bed. Okay, let's move the bed down a little bit. Calibrate extruders, yep. Right, exactly. All right. Print a cat. Yeah, well, you're assuming this is going to print something. Remember, we haven't run a G92. We don't know how warped this bed is, okay? So, who knows? All right, I am going to refill my soda. I'm going to get my glasses because I need them. So we're going to do a 5-minute pause. I'm going to leave you on the top view, and I will mute the monitor and be back in 4 minutes. Okay, sorry. I thought I pushed a button. Oh, you'll never know. Jeez. Now I was just saying that Molly is the official cat of the channel. Can't read lips. Okay, there you go. What did... Okay, you won't be watching. Gotcha. All right. Keith has shot me a message saying he's not going to be watching. He's going to be putting together his FT-6. So we can now talk about Keith behind his back. No. All right. So E-steps is definitely going to be next. I'm curious what's going to happen. I really have no idea what to expect. This is kind of the theme of this channel, right? So what we're going to do... well, I think if Danielle's here, we'll... since it's kind of tradition with the new printer, we'll put the purple filament in, which is currently on the i3 Mega, but until I do work on that, that's down for now. The other choices would be silver and gold and orange. Yeah, the Ziltech colors are not very exciting. So it's going to be interesting putting the filament way over here. And I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. So wow. To say that's a pain in the ass would be a wee bit of a... Yeah, I'm becoming a fan of direct drive really quickly. Come on. Well. Looks like we're going to have to do it kind of ghetto style here. Here we go. I have to do this with the G-Tech all the time. I have to feed the filament through and then... Alright, let's... Okay, filament's coming out. Boy. Yay. I should get a chair to stand on. Alright, I'm not going to worry about that being too loose or tight. Alright, so now, holy crap. We have a long ways to go. Let's see, a couple things I can do here. Let's unplug this guy from the computer because the firmware has been done. Print. Yes, you did help my female stats. Yes, I want to say I am up to 0.2 female viewers. Okay, let's. Okay. Here we go. It does still get stuck on the menus. All right. Get you back to the info screen. Okay, what I'm going to do now, before I even try, well, this would be a good test of the extruder. Let me think out loud here so you guys can make fun. Okay, I got to remember the IP address of the FT-6. I think it's .12. Let's punch it up over here. Okay, let's get you on the screen so you guys can see what's going on. All right, new plugins. Okay, that's great. Yeah, marked as red. All right, let's have this thing connect to the printer. Okay, I got a little Marlin restart screen. .12 on the local network. Okay, it looks like it is on. Yeah, there are no files. That's fine. Let's see. It should be reading 17 and 18. Yeah, that's fine. And it should have a camera showing up. And it does. Cool beans. So here's what we want to do. And this is going to be kind of, this is going to be the funky part here. The nice thing about having so much Bowden tube is that we don't have to worry about heating up the hot end. Because what we want to do right now, let me give you the top view. I'm going to mark 100. Oh boy, this other camera is going to be in the way. Maybe it's time to put that on the tripod. All right. Let's do that real quick. So we're going to try to figure out the extruder. We want to make sure that it is truly spitting out the right amount of filament. Let's see if I snagged the cable. I probably have. Okay, let's see if that camera is making any sense to you guys. Okay. All right. So unfortunately, I have the filament over here, and the extruder over here. Not an ideal setup, but for today, it will have to suffice. So what we got to do is measure 100 millimeters, and somewhere here I have a caliper and my magic marker. And what we're going to do is we're going to mark off 110, because if we mark 100 and it goes all the way in, then we're kind of SOL. I don't know what the default E steps are on this. I can't remember. I would have to look it up. But here we go. Dun, dun, dun. 93. Whoops. Let's see. We want 105. .01. That's fine. And let's see. I got filament falling off the spool already. Okay. And this is the awkward part, trying to. Okay. Doo-be-doo-be-doo. Okay, that is 105. And we're going to go to in here. And tell it to extrude 100. And nothing's happening. Ah! And it probably won't because the print head is not to temperature. Okay, yeah. Gotta get that to at least, we'll make it 180. Okay. Forgot that this thing will not do any kind of extrusions unless the hot end is up to temperature. Alright, let's see how quickly that goes. Is that 50? And let me check my chat buffer real quick. Oh, you guys are being quiet. FT-6. Hey, Theodore, don't play with the fluorescent bulbs. Okay, moving the microphone a little bit closer here. Okay, so this thing is up to temperature, and we're going to see what happens when we tell it to extrude 100 millimeters. All right, there's our little black line. Wow, so we are over extruding like a big dog. Okay, so let me okay, well fortunately with the clear tubing I can see how far it went in there. So from the end okay, so it took in, instead of going 100, it took 105, okay? So there's a little bit of math that we have to do now to figure out the proper E-steps. Let me move that camera. Let me get the camera on me. La, 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 la. Okay, so let me go over here. Okay, let me do my math real quick. Oops, come back. All right, I have to look on the printer and see what the E-steps are currently in use. That's under control and motion and steps. So the current E-steps are 95. Let's jot that down. All right. So I just got to find good question, JDC. I don't know. I haven't considered jumping to that one yet, so that's a excellent question. And let me pull up something really quick here. Trying to remember. Let's see, I watched a video that's a really good reminder of how to do all this stuff, and it's from the Hot End guys. I know it sounds saucier than it really is. Okay, so my new steps, okay, are going to equal my requested extrusion multiplied by my current E-steps, which is 95, and divide by the actual, which is I got 105. Okay, so let me fire up the old calculator here. I'm sure some of you guys are quicker than me, but away we go. Okay, so that breaks down into, come on, 100 times, was the E-steps really? Wow, it's interesting that the E-steps were 95 and I got 95. I just want to double check that. No, I got 105. Here we go. 95. Okay, got it. Okay, so requested E-steps was 100. My current E-steps were 95 divided by what I got, which was 105. Okay, here we go. So 100 times 95, 9500, and divide that by 105. So my new E-steps should be 90.47. Okay, and if you're wondering how that's done, I can put on screen and I can share with you. Oops, I keep on bashing stuff with my mouse. Sorry. There we go. So this is the video that if you've never done the E-steps to calibrate your extruder, This is a fantastic video by the guys in Australia, the Hot End, and this is what I used when I first did my FT5. I also use it for the i3, and every now and then I got it written down here on my tablet, but sometimes it's easier just to quickly grab this video here. So I can I do have a terminal connection. So what I can do is, let me go back to this connection right here. I can go to terminal. I can suppress some of these messages. Here we go. Got it. And then let's see. Yeah, and there is that. So I just have to set the E-steps. I can do it either through the interface or, actually it's not off by that much. So I had said 90.47 is easier to do it right through the LCD. Okay. Okay, we did it through the LCD menu. I could have done it through terminal, but just as easy to do it this way. So what I'm going to do now is, let's go to control. Let's measure off. Maybe that wasn't clear. When do you use one or the other? Oh, you're asking about the TCM? I don't know. That's a very good question. I haven't messed with stepper drivers. I've watched a lot of videos on it, and I have a lot of questions, but I haven't jumped that bridge yet. All right, how far is this going down the extruder? Not very far at all. All right, here we go again. We're going to measure 105 again, and with any luck, 5 millimeters will be left outside that tube. I think the hardest part is trying to draw that magic marker line on here. I try to grab it by the edge of the Bowden tube there to kind of snug it. Okay, I'm going to call that good right there. All right, extrude 100 for me, please. Where is my mouse? Right there. Okay, and away we go. There's our black line. Well, how much did I mark? I marked 105, so why didn't you? Oh, I bet I know why. I bet I know why. If I go to terminal and use new settings. Yeah. M501 or M500, right? Okay, that might be why. It might not have been using the new setting. But let's check. Okay, a little dot right there. Here we go again. good point. You made a really good point, John Thompson. Because on the LCD, well, it's going to treat, that's a great question, because I think it's going to treat well, I only have one setting for E-steps. And it's using 90.47. Yeah. So, how much did you haul in? So you hauled in 102. So I got 3.12 out here. So 100. And the E-steps we have were 9047. Divide that by let's see, it pulled in 102. This is the slow part. Okay, so 100 times 90.47, 9047 divided by 102. New E-steps are 88.69. And I'm just going to call it 87.70. Hey. The minions are going crazy down here. Okay, Danielle, I will do so. Hey, Jake from State Farm. Yeah, we're calibrating the extruder. And I said 88.7. Okay, so what I've done is I've saved settings. I am going to go back to my terminal window real quick, and the control, terminal rather. Okay, I'm going to do a M50, 500 to make sure it saved it. Okay, we're going to do an M501 to make sure it's using these settings. Hooray. Okay, and then I'm again going to take this and I'm going to measure 100 from it. I don't know if the ruler is going to be any easier or not here. Now it's too bad it doesn't go right from the very edge. I'm going to go right here. Let's see how much closer we get this time. pulled in, it looks like 1 millimeter too much. But that could also be my lousy measuring. So it's plus or minus 3, and I'm not going to argue with that anymore. All right, let's go to. I have another camera view here we can go to that's a little more interesting. Actually, let's take you off the tripod. I apologize for the wiggling around here. Tripod out of the way. Okay, is this thing even close to the nozzle? And actually, with all this jockeying around here, I'll get seated in there. All right. So I am going to drag this monitor to me. Okay, temperature. Let's make the temperature, say, 215 degrees. Trying to figure out what I want the first 3D print to be. Probably one of the calibration cubes. Actually, we'll do a flow rate. How's that? Center. Good, good. Alright, I don't know how good his default settings are. He has the extruder multiplier at 0.9. I want to calibrate that, so I'm going to make that 1.0. Okay. So we are at 208, 210. And we have a ways to go to start extruding material out of this thing. So let's move the camera over here and filament is slowly working its way over. Yeah, it's still got a ways to go. Okay. So there's basically about 500 millimeters of Bowden tube here. All right, it's entering the hot end. Okay, I don't see anything coming out the end yet here, so let's there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, there be filament. Yay. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cool this thing off so we don't get anything jammed up. So let's bring you down to like 180. All right, this I got to drag this over here so I can see what's going on. All right, so for this first test print, I don't know if he has the starting G script working correctly, but let me take a look real quick at it. Alright, he's using the default one that came with RCP. Well, retraction is set, the layers are 0.2, the outer perimeter shells and whatever. Okay, that's not too crazy. Inside out. We don't have a layer fan, so that's going to affect a few things here. So cooling we don't care about. I'm curious how his scripts are going to work. He's using 60 millimeters a second. Okay, sure. A little faster than I'd go for a first try, but... Okay, so... And I'm going to save this in the... Octoprint folder for it. All right, geez, guys, we're just gonna give it a go and see what happens. Let's go under Documents and let's look for FT-6 Octoprint. All right. We printed a lasso. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let me move this to a better angle here for you. All right, so I honestly don't know what to expect. I suspect I will have to intervene, but so far the hot end is not on fire. So we are waiting for the bed to heat up, and it's heating up rather quickly. Wow, I got myself a nice little space heater. Hope the microphone is okay here. So that's okay. So yeah, okay, so the bed is already at 60 degrees Celsius, so that's crazy hot. No, it's a PEI coated bed, so with any luck, it should be... Hello, Chris Soros. Welcome back. Okay, so we've just done the E-steps. We have given it its first print. We're waiting for the bed to stabilize. It's at 62, but all right. To quote Shakespeare, may fortune favor the foolish. Oh yeah, that's just a little stringy. The filament feed is kind of a mess right now. It should be a straight shot, but we'll hand feed it. It's taken I should have done a PID auto tune on the hot end. It's bouncing all over the place right now. Sorry for the microphone, and I got the boom mic going over here. So yeah, so the extruder E steps, I've got them within a millimeter. Ooh, 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 hang on your ass, guys. Let's get that poker out of the way. Please work, please work, please work, please work. Oh, well, why didn't you do any probing? Where's my baby stepping? I press twice for baby stepping and nothing happens. Come on. Now, why did it do a square there and a square here? Okay, I'm confused. I have part of a square in one spot, and and I was expecting it to do a G92, but it looks like the profile that's on the FolgerTech Facebook page. Why is it doing two of these? Oh, for goodness sakes. Because it's supposed to. It thinks it's using both extruders. Yeah, I'm looking at the preview here, and let me move my cameras here. So, yeah, so for some reason it thinks it's doing that. Wow. Okay, so we get some work to do in Simplify 3D. For, holy snikey, that bed is warm. For what it's worth, that first layer is looking pretty snarky. It's just that I was expecting it to do a G92 and map out the whole bed. Yeah, Prime Tower, yeah, exactly. It's like, how did it come up with that? Okay, well, I'm pleasantly surprised because I was expecting this thing to probe the bed, which it didn't. But I'm tickled to see that it looks like that first layer is really good. Chris, I have a question for you, and yeah, it is a dual extrusion profile. It is, and I've never done dual extrusions in Simplify 3D. Let me look at his profile some more. See, with the Ultimaker, I know that you could turn off and on Okay, so there was a G29 in the startup script for auto level, but I didn't see where it, yeah, let me, see, I'm expecting G92, well, it's using UBL, so, I'm a little, this is something I need to get, educate myself a little on. It's doing a really good job. I mean, this has been a struggle. This has been an adventure. So the fact that I can't talk. That cube is looking really good. Okay. So that impresses me. I need to educate myself on Simplify 3D as to this whole Prime Tower thing. I have no idea how I'm just fortunate that it's using the only extruder that has filament in it. Well, G28 will home. G29 is what does the auto bed leveling, I believe. In the where would I find that in the firmware? Let me see. Hang on, let me do a Control F for G29. Okay, I'm using auto bed leveling UBL. Oh yeah, I agree with you. It's confusing. Um, See, I was expecting it to do a mesh grid. Oh yeah, well, trial and error is kind of how we fly here. More error than trial, but we try to maintain a positive attitude, though. That's interesting because yeah, I'm looking at the firmware, and as you can see, I mean, this bed puts out a lot of heat. But let me show you guys. Like I said, this thing didn't do any probing. It didn't do any mesh leveling, and I mean, oops. Look how sharp that looks. And this is the Brandt. I can't think of his last name. Is it Deemers? His spring steel PEI coated bed. Yeah, I didn't have any error codes on compile, so I don't know. It might be faster to make a post on the Facebook group tomorrow and say, "Hey, here's what I got." I hadn't seen where a lot of, well, when I searched for Simplify 3D and FT-6, I didn't see. Someone had said they had created a profile, and I think what they did is they basically did a dump of the RCP file for Repetier host for this printer. So, oh, I don't know. When you move it up and down, there's definitely a few spots I got questions because when I took my bed out, the ACM, it definitely had a pretty good warble in it. So I was concerned when I put this together, and not to mention all the troubles with the gantry and the belting. And every now and then, one of the lead screws will vibrate. So it's like I said, so far so good. So yeah, maybe I can start a collaborative effort on the Facebook group and say, hey, here's I'm using the profile. Here's what happened, and maybe we can fine tune it and tweak it for the enhancement of other FT6 owners. Because that's how I roll. I want to help other people out. Dun dun dun. I'm surprised he hasn't sent you one. I'll have to chat with you offline, Chris, at some point. I provided him with a lot of feedback on the manual and a few other things here, and he'll probably bring it to your attention soon here. Hello, Keith. The let me give you a visual of the. So this is what we're using. This is what was attached on the group. I hope you can see that. Oh, it's big enough font. So what happened was when it started to print, it went straight out to the center. No priming, no purging of the nozzle. That's usually what I have my printers do. I prefer the purging versus that one line streak up the side like the CR10s do. But this thing is doing a prime tower. I don't know why. So I'm curious if looking at that G code makes any sense. And Chris, this is Keith Ward. You may see him in the chat buffer. Very sharp with Marlin. Let me look. Let me compare to the Easy ABL because I know he has. Okay, so he has the same thing. He has a G28 home all axes, G29 easy ABL mesh creation. Then he has the heaters, and then he draws a line up the side. So I've never used UBL. I was told that was the way to go with a big bed like this. So perhaps some smarter people in the group will be interested in collaborating. So yeah, that looks largely correct. I got a little tiny bit of stringing, but that could also be because I don't have a part cooling fan attached at the moment. Okay, let's see. Well, we'll have to ask some questions on the group. There's a lot of good, a lot of brilliant people on that Facebook group. There's a fair amount of pinheads too that I've encountered, but I try to tune them out. And actually, you know, even if they're jerks every now and then, it's funny that not too long after their rants, they come begging for help. So I shine them with niceness, I guess. But this is a cube that's going to generate a 0.8 millimeter wall, so this should help me dial in the extrusion multiplier. I gotta find out how to get rid of that prime tower. Only for now, Chris. Only for now. Like I said, a lot of this stuff was beyond me, and you've known me for about 3 years here since my adventures with the FT-5, and I went from what the hell to, oh, this ain't so bad. All right, let me. There we go. Took a little quick video clip here so I could share that. You know what's interesting? You mentioned that, and I've been in IT since 1995. Okay, don't want to show my age here, but you know, back in those days, you had BBSs, and you know, you were always at Borders buying the latest tech manual. You know, nowadays, you know, everyone just Googles everything. It's great to be in IT right now because all you gotta do is Google. All right, so I am tickled. I guess I could say I'm tickled purple that the printer is printing very well. I'll put the. Let's see if I can get you over here. Ah, that's a pretty good picture. So I need to get hold of a silicone sock for that MK9. There's no leaking filament. The other day I heated it all up and cranked it up as far as tightness goes, so we're good there. Okay, I'm just going to let this go for a couple more minutes here. What is it, about 11 o'clock? And what you hear in the background is the Ultimaker is still churning out the caps that go on top of the filament spool holder. Rather than having those sharp edges, that's supposed to put a nice rounded edge up there. See, I wish I knew how to do mechanical design and stuff like that. I said building robots and not having that experience has been awkward. Let's see, excuse me. Okay, yep, so let's see. The project layout, are you referring to what Chris does or me? Theodore, what are you doing? Oh, Theodore has found a twist tie. A lot of the guys, you mentioned Tinkercad, a lot of the guys that made and designed accessories and add-ons for their Ultimakers spoke very highly of that program. They said it was one of the easiest ones to use. Oh, that's still going. Google SketchUp. I've used that a little bit. It's interesting to watch that Ethernet light blink as it's maintaining the temperature. Right now it's printing at 210, which is a little bit hot for that filament. So I'm going to go into here and lower that down to about 205. You ever mess with what am I thinking of? SolidWorks. Here we go. As a veteran, I could get it for 20 bucks a year, academic version, so I couldn't update it or really do too much with it. It's outside to learn it. Okay, let me give you back the other camera here. I just want to see how far it's gonna go here, and I've lowered the temperature. It's doing a really, you know, I've done a lot of first-time prints on various printers. You know, the G-Tech A10 was miserable because the eccentric nuts were way too tight on the Z-axis, so it was just getting stuck everywhere. And my FTI3 Mega, that was all right, but I noticed right off with those couplers being up top and being the spring type, my layers looked pretty wonky because you could definitely tell that there was some up and down motion going on over there. Let me dump some more filament. I think this is going to be one of those cases where filament-wise, I'm going to have to be feeding it from the front on a ball bearing or something. Maybe hang it on one of the 2020 rail. But the good news is I'm not seeing layer shifts. The layers look really nice. I got a little bit of elephant's foot because I was probably printing too hot on that first layer. I'm hearing some squeaking, but I think it'd probably be a good idea to get the sewing machine oil out and lubricate the rails. Squeak, 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 squeak. And the other thing I'm thinking I might do is, at the, it wouldn't be a whole lot of fun to do, but because it's a little tough to access, those smooth idlers that are on the end of these belts, I would probably prefer to have GT2 belts, GT2 pulleys on there. Okay, that's your story, you're sticking to it kind of thing? Oh, that's fine. No, I had a good chat with him. I was like, what were you thinking putting the motors up high? And he's like, well, that's a subject of great debate. I've seen a couple posts where someone had posted having like rubber debris on the end of the axis, and it's not that big a deal to fix. Actually, I think I got a package of 20 pulleys over here that came with the Ultimaker as extras. But that would be a pretty easy peasy thing to do. There go my cats. When we took that 5-minute break, I went upstairs, I topped off my soda, and I felt sorry for the cats, so I gave them catnip. And now, as you can probably hear from the ceiling, they are having a field day. Ooh, squeak, 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 squeak. I don't know where that's coming from, but boy, that prime tower is really killing my print time. Okay, it looks like I still have a little bit of stringing, and that's fine. I'm printing at 205, so let's bring it down to 200. That's about what I print Ziltech filament at, so. Yeah, the camera is really kind of playing with the focus. You hear that squeaking? And because it's such a small cube, I really can't get in there and put any lubricant on there, so. Oh. Now, the other thing that's kind of neat about this, let me show you what the printer says it's doing. So I'm a little stumped as to why it says it's doing G29 when it's printing. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's... Sorry for the focus here. It's trying to focus in on the print of the probe. Okay, with the lowering temperature, that might tell me how my retraction is doing. A little stringy there. But that's kind of a nice incidental to find out along the way, right? I smell pizza. Boy, that LCD screen I have on this printer is definitely sketchy. Alright, how far into this print is it? Because I don't want to keep you guys up. Yeah, it's only halfway done. Okay. Alright, so I think what's going to happen is tomorrow night we'll, hopefully during the day tomorrow, I'll capture some more information as far as getting the simplified 3D profile to work a little bit better. Not doing a prime tower. I'm curious what it's going to do for the bed leveling. Like I said, I was concerned when I put this together that there were definitely that ACM bed definitely had a significant little curve to it. The substructure seems to have flattened it out for the most part, but last week when I was moving the bed up and down the axis, the X, the longer one, you know, the 720, I could definitely see points where the nozzle was hitting the bed and what have you. So far, the spring steel bed is being spring steel. I'm curious. I mean, it's certainly going to conduct the heat, so I don't think we'll have any issue with that. I did get the 40 millimeter fans I mentioned earlier in the video. Those came in from Amazon, so I got a bunch of those. The other thing I have is, and I'll show you back over here, is this guy. This is the mount, and this is printed in copolyester. It's color fab engine, and it has little ducts here in the bottom. So I don't know how. Boy, that squeaking is pretty significant. Can you guys hear that over the microphone? Over the Ultimaker? Still got a little string, so it looks like my retraction could use a little bit of play. So anyway, as I was saying, tomorrow one of the goals is going to be to, you know, get that fan in there. Actually, did they include any hardware? Nope. I am assuming the fan, I want to have the sticker facing out. Here we go. Nope to which? Sorry, I was just looking at the chat buffer. I'm like, what are you saying nope to? So the good news is that I can finally close up the electronics box. Boy, that squeak. Oh, you were saying nope to that, probably, that you can't hear it. And if the Ultimaker wasn't printing, your dog would hear it. Can't hear the squeaking. Okay. Well, you are fortunate, my friend. You are fortunate. But I don't know how much lubricant was on those things when they showed up over here, so pretty easy fix. I haven't used my FT-5 in over a year, so I can only imagine I gotta clean those rails up. I know I run into that with the Ultimaker, having those chrome rods everywhere. They really want to be well cleaned. There. Okay, so I got a dozen of these 40mm fans. I didn't really need a dozen, but at 19 bucks, how can you say no? And then I got a bunch of the 5015s. I only needed one, but again, it was you can get 4 for $9.99. So, and they were brushless and ball bearing, so they should last a while. I wonder if that squeak is coming from the pulley. You know, at the end of the belt there. Because that's just riding on top of a screw, you know, so. Ooh, for a new product. So are you going to spill the beans on that, or are you just going to let that hang in the room like that? Okay, just double checking on one of my batteries here. Yep, so sticker is where the airflow is. Used to be, you would see like an arrow on here. I'm not seeing it though. Where's my glasses in case I'm being numb? Yeah, is it me, or did they used to have like a little arrow that would indicate which way the airflow is? Oh well. Well, I verified it anyway, putting on the battery. It's coming out on the side that the sticker is on. Oh, so an improved FT-5 is what you're saying. Let's see. I gotta find something for a friend real quick. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Files. Oh, I just got a message from Slice Engineering. Very cool. Okay, that was Keith asking to take a look at the profile for Simplify 3D. He said he had an idea, so that's cool. I didn't say anything. Well, when he put a survey out a while back there, that was definitely one of the top that got some hits. Okay, so I'm kind of doinking around here with this new fan and wondering what size screws to place in there. Well, you know what? I'm going to fit that one. This is why I keep an M3 tap set, just in case. There we go. So what I'm doing here, I got a, this is, you can get this at Harbor Freight. It's, it's tap and drill and countersink all in one. So you just take this and kind of, squeak, squeak, squeak. You seriously can't hear that. So not only does this slightly widen the hole, but it also makes it an M3. Okay, here we go. Now it's just a matter of figuring out what size. It looks like it doesn't take too big. Squeak, squeak, squeak. My goodness gracious. Okay, so we'll put that fan up top. I thought I had a better assortment of hardware here. Maybe not. Alright, let's go back and see how that thing's doing. That's me threading into this plastic part. Holy crap. Sounds like a wildlife call, doesn't it? Alright, well the good news is that's in. I was a little concerned with the extruder because all we had to go by was a picture. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of how do you put it together. Not a knock on anyone or you, but I was like, all I have is a picture. How do I put this thing together? So, long story short, I was concerned that one spring wouldn't be enough, but it seems to be happy with one spring. Oh, come on, don't get it tangled on me. Under the Additions tab, let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Oh, Keith, you're good. This is why we pay you the big bucks. Whew. Well, I am hearing some squeaking, and I'm hoping it's the rail. I was suspicious that maybe it was one of the idlers, but because it's such a small cube in the back and forth, I think it's just that spot on the rail. So I think some light sewing machine, and this squeak is me threading the screw in this material here. Yeah, I've only got one in there, but boy, it was a lot of fun to get that in. And I say fun rather sarcastically when I add. Okay. And voila, that's threading in nicely into this copolyester material. Well, I'll give it credit. I mean, and someone else pointed it out. I mean, it's doing a really nice job with that pillar, that top layer. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, you would know better from the CAD drawings, but that's like 500 millimeters of Bowden tube. Like, holy cow. I don't mean to be dismissive, but that's not a whole lot of fun. That's threading into this. I'm putting in the remaining bolts of this fan into the duct here. Okay, you can see I still got a little bit of stringing, so I bet I could probably improve the retraction a little bit. I'd have to look in the settings again. What is it currently set at? The retraction distance is 1.0, so yeah, maybe make it 1.1 and see what happens. No, I wasn't blaming you, Chris. I know you guys cooperate and on these designs together, and I certainly don't fault you for any of the perceived shortcomings or production decisions. I know. Yeah, BMG would be actually. You know what? While we're talking, I just got a message from Slice Engineering. Let me pop it up here. And they said, hey, Paul, check out our website. We have a new adapter. The adapter screws directly into the MK9 and mounts the Mosquito to the heatsink. So apparently that would be a drop-in replacement for this hot end. Whoa. Oh, a whole bunch of filament just came flying out. And I think I need to investigate on Thingiverse a couple of the let me give you a better visual of what I'm trying to talk about on these rails. I know, like on the FT-5, some people have like a mount on the back for their rolls of filament so that it can feed over the top of the FT-5, and I'm pulling my filament. Let me give you a better view from over here. So just for a temporary thing, I got the spool up here, and I'm pulling in, and as you can see, I got a nice dangly mess here, but for a test print it's fine. This spiral wrap and this print right here has been excellent. This thing right here, it has accommodations for a M5 screw. I'm doing the same thing on the other side. Dun, da, da. Capped up to see if the studio light's going, but yeah, I think it works pretty well. Well, something else. This is finished up printing the pieces that go on the top of the filament holder. So with the Ultimaker off, you might hear the squeak. Okay, so what does this thing have left to it? We're 79% into it. It has 12 minutes left. Well, that's cool. Alright, got my solder. I'm gonna close that up. The cats will get in there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to end the stream now because it's getting late. Got to work in the morning. But holy crap, we're printing. We are friggin' printing. Does it have auto resume? It does not have a any of those features. No. No, it doesn't have the filament runout sensors. It doesn't have those kind of electronics on board. It's running off an MKS board. It's an 8-bit board, and it has an onboard SSR because it's running a AC bed. Biggest feature of this printer is the print size, and right now it's doing that first print right now, and it's doing it rather quietly. Again, I always complain about this, but to me it just drives me crazy. It doesn't come with a part cooling fan, so that's something that you have to seek out and install on your own. But he does have the plug on the carriage, so you can do that. But other than that, it's been a challenging build. So there it is. I am going to end this for tonight. I'm going to babysit this until this is completing its print. And yeah, or I may just leave it on the bed and come back to it tomorrow afternoon. So there it is, guys. We're up and printing. We've had a string of victories tonight, so awesome sauce. So thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber, click the button in the corner to become a subscriber. If you haven't given me a thumbs up already, give me a thumbs up. And if you have questions, throw them in the comment section down below. So, and don't forget in the comment section, above the comment section in the description area, if you're interested in getting an FT-6 or an FT-5, there is a discount code available where Nerdy is Cool will get you 5% off. So, save you some money. So, all right, guys, have a great night. Remember, this is where Nerdy is Cool, and maybe we'll do this again tomorrow night. Catch you later, guys.